prosecution witness drops a bombshell in the trial of James Whitey Bulger. Stephen, the Rifleman Flemmi, accused Bulger of being a pedophile. The key prosecution witness made the claim as the defense tried to poke holes in his testimony. Our Alysha Palumbo is live at the Moakley Courthouse in South Boston. Alysha, you never know what you're going to hear in this case.
That's right, Latoya, and we were watching inside the courtroom as it was clear that Flemmi was getting angrier and angrier from the witness stand as defense attorney Hank Brennan kept insisting that he molested his then-girlfriend's daughter. He kept saying a girl who once called him daddy. And Flemmi just lashed out at Bulger almost like a child on a playground saying, "I know you are, but what am I?"
In an explosive exchange during cross-examination of Stephen the Rifleman Flemmi Tuesday, James Whitey Bulger's defense attorney Hank Brennan grilled the government witness on his sexual relationship with his then-girlfriend's teenage daughter, Deborah Hussey. Flemmi insisted it was consensual, even though he was 39 or 40 and she was 17 or 18 at the time. But when Brennan suggested it was worse to be known as a pedophile in jail than a killer, Flemmi went off. He screamed, "I'm not a pedophile. You want to talk about pedophilia? Right over there at that table," he said, pointing a finger at Bulger, who shot a look at Flemmi but seemed to use all his restraint to not react angrily. Flemmi had earlier testified Bulger took a 16-year-old girl to Mexico but didn't elaborate further. Despite inconsistencies on the details, Flemmi was insistent Bulger strangled Hussey. But Flemmi claimed he didn't want her dead, saying that murder would have been prevented with one word. All Bulger had to do was say pass. 4 little letters, P-A-S-S, and I would have been happy. That would have been the end of it. She'd be alive today.
I think enough of the details of what he testifies matches other witnesses so that the jury is taking that in and recognizing that what we're dealing with from a personal standpoint is a really bad human being.
Following this case closely has been the attorney who represented Frank Salemi in the late 1990s and filed the motion that led to the Wolf hearings exposing FBI corruption as well as Flemmi and Bulger's informant status. Anthony Cardinale said at this point he doesn't think the defense has a strategy.
They're going off on some notion that because the FBI and the Department of Justice therefore help his client commit all these crimes, that somehow it nullifies his guilt.
Now, Flemmi will be back on the stand again on Wednesday, still under cross-examination, but expect a pretty extensive redirect at this point. The government says it has about 5 witnesses left before it wraps up its case. Latoya?
Boy, just when you think this case can't get any more wild, Alysha, than you have this. And there was a ruling today that may seal the fate on whether Bulger himself will testify, right?
That's right. At the end of court today, the judge heard several arguments, one pertaining to Flemmi's prior testimony under direct questioning, where Flemmi said of the Wolf hearings, he said that he had immunity. Now, the defense has pushed from the beginning that they wanted to have an immunity defense for Bulger. The judge said previously before the trial she wouldn't allow it. And again today, she reaffirmed that after looking at Flemmi's statements. She said the government did not specifically elicit that testimony. The witness brought it in, so she's not going to allow that defense, which, according to legal analysts, means that Bulger will most likely not take the stand in his own defense.
Very interesting. Alysha Palumbo live for us in Boston. Thank you. Stay with us here at NECN and NECN.com for more on the Bulger trial. We'll break in on TV for updates during court breaks and read our live tweets from inside the courtroom on Twitter, the handle @NECN.